How is this? Question mark. Let's see if I can. Oh, good God. Let me go to that. Hit this. Okay. How is the sound? Well, it doesn't have that weird echoey, that's for sure. How does that sound, David, compared to what you were hearing before? I still hear a little bit of hollow sound.
Well, you will hear a little bit of hollow sound.
Ryan says infinitely better.
Well, yeah.
Everyone has agreed. Okay, yeah, that's the computer microphone.
Well, that's because Ryan gave us a fantastic computer.
Yeah,
I mean, this computer is a zillion times better than anything we had.
So, anyhow, we'll just go with that. The trip itself was great. Ryan was a very good host, and you're going to see some other. So Gold Pan Dan was also a very good host.
Oh yeah.
We had fun with um, Jason over at Flower Gold Wizards. Learned a few little things, I think, on his sleuths that may help us out. And
sit back from the computer again, and it's better.
Okay. And then it was really fun meeting up with Rock and his son. Let me see if I can remember this. Arvi, I believe. But anyhow, that was pretty cool. And I'd say that was really, really strange running into a small flock of Mongolians at Devil's Tower. That video will be up in a couple of days. We took a lot of video, and I've been see how my brain is dying here. But anyhow, I did a lot of editing, uploading, and I've got another 2 or 3 videos already complete. I mean, all the way back to Helena is all edited. I'm just releasing them one a day. Today, it was a little different. I put up 2 videos because I wanted to get that truck stop. One thing I would like to do is ask everybody who saw that video. What I did was, I mean, there's just an enormous number of trucks and stuff to look at. And what I did was I just walked the whole thing and then cranked it up to 4 times. And so I wonder if you like that or whether you want me to put up another video that's at normal speed.
Chris says go ahead and put up the long cut and add chapter marks for each exhibit. Yeah.
Now there's 3 exhibits per frame, so to speak, usually. Anyhow, so that's what I'll probably do, although I won't do the actual truck stop itself, just the museum itself. I say, I don't know. It was one of those things that it was just an amazing place. The truck stop itself, it was big, it was clean, it was nice.
Laura says just post the reel.
Yes, I can see.
Yeah. I love that real Speedwagon.
Okay, what I can do is I can edit it at 2x, put it out there, and then see what people like. If they want to, I could do both. You know, it takes a lot longer to upload, but that's about it. But the truck stop is all the people there were very nice. It was very clean. Um, it was just a nice facility. And then the museum. Hey, Harry, that museum was donation only. There was no cost, and um, the as you see, the exhibits are really, really nice. I wouldn't be surprised, Chris. One of the things that I was thinking was they really need, you're going to need to have bathroom facilities, kind of spread around. Otherwise, the truck drivers are going to do what truck drivers do, And I say it was just one of those things that I was thinking that, yeah, this is going to be a problem. 800 trucks is a large area. Yeah, the Mongolians we ran into at Devil's Tower. Um, the guy I was speaking to says, and this is kind of funny. He said that they get together once or twice a year to shoot YouTube videos, which is what they were doing. But he was very nice and everything. And I forgot how the subject came up, but I mentioned to him, yeah, you guys have had quite a substantial impact on world history. And he kind of grinned and said, yeah, we have. But anyhow, you misspelled Arvi.
Yeah, I know. I just fixed that.
I haven't seen it yet. There we go. Yeah, that computer is pretty screwed. But anyhow, we'll have to get stickum letters.
I was just gonna color them again with black Sharpie, and then write the letters on with white Sharpie.
That's not going to show up too well, but Lauren has a label maker. But anyhow, I say that was just kind of strange because we pulled in the parking lot, we see these guys in rather unusual clothing, and I'm like, are those guys Mongolian? When I asked the guy, "Are you guys from Mongolia?" He said, "Yeah." How did you know?
Oh wow, Rock, that's funny. Well, I will say the outfits they were wearing were amazing, and they were playing some variety of hacky sack, but it was not with the little hacky sacks like you see Caribbean people.
It wasn't a beanbag.
Crochet ones.
It was like a cloth wrapped around something and then
tied. It was very interesting. And man, they were doing a good job with that in the parking lot. Buka ball.
Huh?
Okay. Thank you, Chris. Wasn't Paul at all, but
anyhow, why don't you take over for a minute? I need a short break.
See, Ryan gave me a beautiful new sweatshirt. Oh, Rock, their outfits are freaking gorgeous. I just wish they had horse fiddles. It's like, very nice looking clothes. And man, what they were doing with that hacky sack buka ball type thing was freaking amazing. I envy that level of coordination. Well, yeah, Lars, my son gave me this outfit. I practically lived in it all the way home. I love it. It's just like so cool. I have my own little 42 now.
Did you get your towel?
Yeah, my towel is over on the bed, by the way. Thou shalt not be without towel. Hi, Mr. Virtue. Ah, really? Now my question there, Rock, do you think that it would be easier or really? Now my question there, Rock, Do you think that it would be easier or harder to do the complex thingies with the feet going every which way and the little twirlies in the middle and all that stuff if you used a real human head as opposed to a little small ball? Because human heads are pretty heavy. Hi, Shaggy. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit.
I'm sure the health department would frown on the traditional method. Although, wait a minute.
No idea why. There's absolutely
You
nothing
could
wrong with
say
heads.
that they were being discriminatory, couldn't you?
Well, I mean, maybe they make shrunken heads. I don't know.
But anyhow, so as I say, we had a fun trip. It was a long trip. We we were tired by the time we got home, but it was pretty cool. We saw some interesting things we hadn't seen before. That was a great truck stop. When we were looking for a place to spend the night, and we were just unable. Kodak was wondering if we could swing by to visit, but we just didn't have the time or the energy because we would have had to go about 100 miles north of what our plan was in order to get there, and that just wasn't going to work out too well. So we weren't able to. I'm sorry, John. But anyhow, we were looking at that and looking someplace near Davenport, looking for a place for the night. And Eva said, "Oh, the world's largest truck stop."
Lars, no way. You come to South Dakota. They have mini golf.
And then who wound up there and is like, "Wow, this is really good, little one." She came up with a good one. Yes, she did. Yeah, Eva, when we were visiting Dan in the Black Hills, when we were going to meet him, we were it's just tourist thing after tourist thing after tourist thing in the Black Hills now. I guess the Sturgis thing is kind of was what got it, but I mean it's just nothing but tourist things in the Black Hills. And we're driving along, and I look at the son, I'm going, okay, he was going to go crazy if she sees that one. It was black light mini golf. And sure enough, she saw it and she goes, "We got to do that." It's like, we'll have to come back sometime.
We got to go to the Holy Terror themed mini golf.
Yeah. Did we try fish and chips? No, I did do New England clam chowder. What was that you had, little one?
I had Paul Revere chili.
Paul Revere chili, whatever the hell that is. Well, the McDonald's just looked really, really weird.
Well, yeah, that was the one on Cape Cod, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That is one of the oldest travel centers, as they call them now, or service centers, as they call them now in the country, like the kind they have on the Pikes. And yeah, McDonald's has the inside track for that one. It was a little bit ridiculous. Lars, if I'd eaten more of it, it probably would have.
Ryan had shrimp mac and cheese.
Oh, yeah. Well, Da Chowda place does amazing mac and cheese. Or they did when I was a kid.
What I would like to try, and of course we can't with low carb, but we had New England clam chowder thickened as the sauce in a baked macaroni and cheese, where you put the cooked macaroni in the New England clam chowder, cover it with cheese, and bake it like that.
Rock, I grew up in New England. I have eaten more than enough fried clams.
Fried cod tongues. Never heard of that one.
I like cod fillets.
But anyhow, that would make a really good mac and cheese, in my opinion.
Well, actually, it does. If you use the New England clam chowder recipe that has cheddar in it.
I don't like cheese in the sauce.
Well, it's not my
That's-
fault you're an
That's
idiot.
why all the mac and cheese, all the commercial mac and cheese in
He
existence,
doesn't like fried bologna and cheese sandwiches either. The dude is hopeless.
you know.
Ah,
But anyhow,
well,
I like a white sauce macaroni with the cheese on top, not the blended stuff. Blended stuff to me just doesn't taste right. It's not what I had as a kid. That's not what I like, which is fine. Everyone else on the planet can eat the
well,
macaroni
they
and cheese
used
the
to,
way
my
they
grandmother
like.
called it clam casserole. It was like a tuna casserole. It was a white sauce clam chowder made with pasta. It's called clam casserole. It was a thing.
Yeah, then just put
Yeah,
cheese on
David
top.
Villa. Yeah, David. He's totally bizarre. Okay,
Yeah,
you would not believe him when. I mean, the man was searching desperately for a freaking corn dog all the way across America.
No.
It was becoming like zombie land. Couldn't find a corn dog anywhere. He finally found one. Then he comes out of this. Where were we in South Dakota? Well, anyway, he came out of this gas station and he says to me, "How would you feel about the fried bologna and cheese sandwich?" And I'm like, "Oh heavens, give me two." You know,
no,
McDonald's sucks rocks.
that was Belle Fourche.
I do not know. You don't like lumpy oatmeal, do you?
That's not bad.
Oh, Rock Butcher, my grandmother's clam casserole was freaking awesome. You make a nice thick New England clam chowder, lots of cream, lots of butter, the salt and pepper, 20 zillion tons of clam. You can also do it as a seafood casserole. And then you mix it in with your macaroni, and like he does, you put cheese on top. If you're a Philistine, if you're a normal person like my grandmother, you mix in the mild cheddar right at the very end so that it gets all nice and creamy in there. Yummy,
I
yummy.
like it on top. Yep.
Nobody ever said you were normal.
Do the Latin phrase.
Which one? De gustibus non est disputanum.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
There is
Well,
no
that's
disputing
always
taste.
assuming somebody has a gustibus. I'm beginning to wonder about you, okay? Yeah, I haven't eaten in McDonald's for a zillion and a half years. At the most, I'll get a soda there, and that's only after I side-eye the soda machine for a while, trying to decide how much mold it has in it this week. You know. He is totally a Philistine, Rock, and I would actually do both as well. As a matter of fact, when you do both, when you do it that way, you mix the mild cheddar in and you use sharp cheddar on top with nicely spiced breadcrumbs. You know, not even really breadcrumbs, crumbled up oyster crackers that you have soaked in drawn butter and herbs so that you make this nice, crusty, bubbly goodness on top here. This is how you do this. But you see, he doesn't eat like normal people. So.
No, I don't. I eat what I like. When I was a child, I was
Oh, definitely do so, Rock. And I would put in a little smoked paprika if you have a little smoked paprika, but that's just a preference of mine. And if you have fresh white onions, if you have fresh spring onions, it's good to dice up the spring onion greens and mix them through there too.
anyhow. When I grew up, I was always the youngest kid in class. I was one of the smarter kids, so I was always on the outs, and therefore I just learned to do it my way. And if people don't like it, that's fine. They can do it their way.
Hey, you missed out on a perfectly good fried bologna and cheese sandwich, dude.
It's too salty. Don't like it. Besides, I don't like Kraft singles.
I know you don't like Kraft singles, which
Yeah.
is another weird thing about you.
Brian says he wants you for president. Well, it should definitely be vastly better than the one we have.
If I were president, I would search the entire country for the best regional recipes of all kind, and we would publish on the government dime the All-American Cookbook. Ultimate U.S. food or something.
Sounds good.
Well, actually, one thing I do is I throw about $50 million at the USDA and at the National Center for Home Food Preservation and tell them, get back to work testing shit for canners, you lazy buggers. Ridiculous people.
I once heard someone say, when it comes to Southern food, there's two kinds of food, fried and deep fried.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, no, there did seem to be a real dearth of corn dogs east of the Mississippi for whatever reason. I mean, they're pretty much a staple over here in the gas station, fast food stuff.
Yeah,
But
three
not
different
over
varieties.
there. We had to get. Were we in Illinois?
You were in Illinois when you
Yeah,
finally
we were.
found one, and it was an inferior one.
Yeah, it was. It was an inferior
You
one.
didn't even get back to rational corn doggage until we hit about South Dakota.
Yeah, but anyhow, I say that was interesting, and I say we've just had a lot of fun indeed. And Rock, I don't know if I posted the was. Could you look and see what the notification or whatever the thing is on this? The thumbnail, because I think it was the. You just have to close it, I guess, and then go back.
Yeah.
Close it up here. There you go. But there you go. Just got to hit that one once. And let's see. Yep, there it is. If you look at that thumbnail for this Try To thing, that is the dawn that we saw over Duluth Harbor from the rest area. That was beautiful. That was an amazing dawn there. That was so cool because Rock wanted to meet us at 7:00 for breakfast, and that was an amazing dawn. I haven't seen a dawn like that ever. I don't think. I mean, I've seen some pretty beautiful
you
dawns,
have to see them over
not
water.
from elevation over a lake like that.
You need to see them over water to see that kind.
Yeah,
they don't happen otherwise.
But it was really cool.
Well, here in Helena, or at the town pumps and the various gas stations around here, we have regular corn dogs. I have seen honey battered corn dogs. I have seen chili corn dogs.
Yeah.
And I have seen jalapeno cheddar corn dogs. So, we have a pretty good selection of corn dogs out here.
Yeah.
There is saying that.
But anyhow, so Eva really enjoyed Ohio Caverns. I first saw that when I was a teenager, when we were on one of our summer trips. And Sault Ste. Marie Locks, that's where we were headed for in 1969 when we had to turn back to get our Suburban repaired because it had a factory defect sort of thing that had to be fixed. But that was kind of cool. And the fact that somebody was coming through at the time that we were there, that was nice and convenient. Plus that guy that was there giving us all the information. He has a radio, he's monitoring the stuff. He works there. But that was that was
he
pretty
does
cool.
Consultant work now, but
that was kind of cool. So that was nice. And I say we had a good time with Jason, and hopefully I learned a few things there. We found out with Jason's sluice matting that it tended to plug up with the iron filings from the tramp iron from crushing. And so he was going to, when he gets the time, if he gets the time, redo the same stuff, but with a faster liquid flow. But I think I'm going to put a magnet when I make the sluice for this right here. My plan is I'll put a slick sheet first. Gosh, that's hard to do. Slick sheet first, then one mat, then another slick sheet, and then another mat. And I should be able to get the right length and everything to where it'll be pretty easy to do. And above that first slick sheet, I'm going to put a pretty strong magnet so I can pull out the magnetics and keep from plugging the riffles is the idea. We'll see how it all works. It's going to be designed so we can try different things quite easily. Not a problem. We've got some gold hog mat. We've got that VDR mat. We've got miner's moss. So we got a lot of stuff. Yes, I did, Brian. When I crush rock, I get a lot of tramp iron, the steel from the grinding equipment in the pulp. And so when I'm doing a gravity separation, it'll tend to plug stuff. Define flash mat, Chris. Are you talking just a fairly smooth one or a one with small ridges? And the other thing is too, with the solution we're going to be using, I'm going to have a setup so where I can switch over from like recirculated solution to fresh solution that's fairly clean so I can see what's going on. That's going to be a situation.
Black low profile rip mat. Okay.
Yeah, with the VDR, it's got an indicator section.
I wonder if silicone matting, like the stuff that we use for cutting boards, would work. One side is super slick, and the other side is like lightly pebbly.
Maybe. Again,
I'm just curious.
It has to work in the same environment. And
shower membrane with magnets under it. No.
Well, I'm thinking a big speaker magnet, a little bit above the thing with something underneath it to peel the magnetics off would be probably good for what I'm doing. In terms of, I'm not doing a whole high volume; it's more experimental, and so we can refine the system. Well, it's going to be dumping into the tank, and all the alpha, because we're only going to be getting the coarse stuff compared to what's in that pulp. So the whole thing is going to go into the tank. Might be able to set up something else. I don't know. We'll play it by ear, but yeah, pretty much, Brian. As long as they're powerful enough and close enough to the slurry, should just yank that stuff right out of it. But we shall see what we shall see. And that's going to take a bit of, we got a bunch of scrap wood over there that I can pull nails and reuse and stuff. It's pretty good shape. It's just been sitting there. It was stripped out of something else. And, it won't take a whole lot of anything new to build this little platform here and everything. But I want that tank in place and full, or at least pretty full first. So I got something to anchor to, to build everything else and then go from there. I'll put 4 posts on this well higher than I need, and I'll cut them off shorter if I need later. I suppose we could, Brian. Wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, just see if there's anything in it.
Yeah.
Might also be black sands in there.
Yeah. Well, there will be some magnetite, no doubt. I just suspect it's going to be the vast majority is just going to be tramp iron. Those impact mills really do things. Let's see here. Do that. Okay, let's see. Where's my star?
Cool.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank
Got it
you.
saved. And
we may be surprised. We've been surprised by quite a few things.
say, we shall see what we shall see. Yeah, it's just one of those things. We got so much to do, and most of it's going to be flying by the seat of our pants for now. I understand, Brian. Say we have a lot of steel from impact mills, and we know that in and of itself doesn't have any gold. The question is how much magnetics from the minerals will have gold, and that may be anything from virtually nothing to a substantial amount, depending upon what your ore source is, also. And so it'd be definitely a good thing to check each and every time. Eva's got the capability to do that, and we'll it's a good idea. Thank you for mentioning it. But say we just got a lot of stuff to do. A lot of stuff. We get started tomorrow afternoon, and I just got to redo that palette and start, running solution through resin. You're going to need to monitor the resin cartridges pretty thoroughly, little one. Hey, Yester 661, because this first surge of solution we're going to be running is probably going to be pretty rich due to the freezing and separation over the winter. Usually, Brian, if it's in the ore, the gold was co-deposited with the iron. The original iron was probably in the form of iron sulfide, which is then oxidized to iron oxide. And gold and iron sulfide and quartz all come out of solution at about the same temperature. So it's very common to have the gold associated with the iron, but it's kind of co-deposited. It can be extremely fine. That stuff at Montana B is just insane. But that's why we have to use the solutions. In your case, if most of the gold is with the iron, and the iron is a modest percentage of the whole, then you might be able to concentrate the iron and then leach that and not have to worry about the rest of the gang minerals in your ore.
Well, I have a question in that regard.
What?
If your gold was with the iron and you concentrated the iron, aren't there acids you could use that will dissolve the iron and make it go away?
Yeah, it's a lot more expensive than dissolving the gold with the Eco Goldex.
I'm just thinking.
Oh yeah, I mean you can do it. You could smelt it, but again, it's a matter of cost, both the capital cost, the energy cost, and everything
I just
else.
thought that if you could get rid of at least some of the iron before you ran it through the Eco Goldex, then the gold would process faster.
It sure could. It would also cost you 10 times as much. Gold just doesn't dissolve easily, and now you've got an acid which you've got to neutralize with a base in order to get the Eco Goldex to work. So you're adding a whole bunch of steps when let's just leave the iron and take the gold. It's a much smaller amount of material. It takes a lot less chemicals. It's a lot less hassle. If you are dissolving the iron, you're going to create a lot of toxic waste, which you then have to get rid of. So that's why you basically go for the easiest stuff. Yeah, exactly. And see, if you got 10%, then if virtually all your gold is with the iron, and you can concentrate that to 10% of the amount, well, now your leaching circuit only has to be 10% as big, and that really increases your throughput. So these are the sort of things. And that particular step where you concentrate the iron and throw away the gangue, that's called benefication. It's basically a step where you're just improving things. And gravity is something you can use magnetic separation for that. And there's all kinds of benefication steps, and their whole purpose is something simple and cheap that substantially reduces the volume for subsequent phases, so that those more expensive or complex phases have less to deal with and can therefore be done cheaper. So you're always looking at, uh, ways you can make stuff happen easier. That's another thing when we've got this um, gravity separation. If, even though the gold we're getting is not going to be pure, I mean, by the time we pan it down and get a concentrate, we're looking at something probably going to be 25% gold, 50% gold, something that's easy to smelt at that point because there's so little of it. And that's the idea. We could also theoretically, if we had a concentrate like that, and it was too small, we had too much iron, it was too much to really smelt easily, but we could now use a much smaller Eco Goldex circuit, which we could then heat a lot easier, to get much faster kinetics. There's all kinds of different games that are theoretically possible to play. And it's always ore dependent, and see just what works and what doesn't. That's where an annoyingly thorough testing sequence can save you a lot of money in the long run. But yeah, it's.
So does Vester have any questions?
I don't know.
Since Vester is like a new person, I believe.
Where, Vester, do you have any questions or anything like that? Are you curious about anything in particular? So I say that's potentially a good thing, because quite often it's easy to concentrate the iron like that. Or sometimes what you can do, if you got something that kind of gravity separates reasonably well, is you can de-slime. If you got a lot of clays, for example, they're going to cause you all kinds of problems later on in the system. If you can settle the good stuff and float off the clays to a long-term settling basin, then it gets it out of your way. It makes life easier. And that's what you're doing.
He's just listening and learning.
Okay, Vester, I say, if you have any questions or whatever, just throw them in there. That way. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, that way. Actually, you're going to see a thing. Yeah, next video I put up. There's a picture that Eva took with her smartphone in Dakota coin, and it's a chunk of rock about this big and about that thick, and I'm guessing it's running about 30% gold.
I don't even like gold, and it's pretty.
It's from the Homestake mine. I think it's called the Lunchbox Pocket or something like that. Yeah, so that's it, Brian. And if you're talking vigorous agitation with oxygen and heat, you want it as small as you can get it. That's where that gravity concentration or magnetic separation or whatever can make life a lot easier on you. But yeah, that was a heck of a rock there, and we went to Gold Pandanza. He had a claim out there, and we took a look at it and sampled uh, the adit there. Um, uh, he's an intelligent, very nice guy. We had a great day, and he's as good of a host as Chris Georgie was. But I say that was pretty cool. And Homestake is now shut down. Its claim to fame now is as a neutrino detector. So,
Sanford Labs bought it.
yeah.
And they run the Sanford Underground Research Facility, SURF, over there.
Dune, huh? That's another acronym. I don't know about what the Dune is. It says SURF was Sanford Underground Research Facility, but that's the whole thing. Deep Underground Neutrino Experiment. Yep. So some of the people are really good at coming up with these acronyms. There's some in Georgia, I know. Wow, Rock. Rock said that at the Red Lake mine, he saw stuff figured about 18% gold.
Good grief.
2 feet wide. Yeah, someplace there's some really awesome stuff. I guess if there was a whole lot of really awesome stuff, the price of gold would suck.
Southwest Virginia, huh? That's pretty cool.
I say there's gold in what, Dahlonega?
Yeah.
That's Georgia, I believe.
Yeah, the Dahlonega gold band is down in Georgia and Alabama. It goes up into, I believe it's South Carolina. I don't think it goes up to Virginia.
Not too far from you.
Wasn't there some hidden buried treasure or something that the FBI confiscated somewhere in the Virginias?
Hard to tell. But yeah, there's some not too far from you, Vester. I concentrate more on hard rock gold, but we have people here that have done a lot of placer gold too. Rock Butcher is he's a long-term exploration geochemist, so he's seen a lot. Lars is just a damn rocket scientist, you know.
Everybody needs a rocket surgeon around.
Yep, you're correct. It was. California was just a lot bigger. Then came the Yukon and all that other stuff.
And South Dakota and Montana. We're in a good part of the country.
Yeah, Rock says 2 foot wide, 2 foot thick, 5.5 feet long, 18% gold.
Oh, if I could find something like that was silver.
No, when I was working at Goldfields Mesquite, they hit blast holes. You know, they assayed everything. And after they shot the blast, once they dug to a certain point, they cleared everyone back, and only special people went in there with barrels, and they filled the barrels up and hauled it off for special processing because it was running like god awful amounts per ton. I think they were saying like $100,000 a ton or some god awful thing.
Oh, that was a zillion years ago.
Yeah.
Back when dinos roamed the earth.
Well, that was when I was.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would say you'll hit these hot pockets in these deposits, but it's few and far between. I'm hoping, but we shall see what we shall see.
I want silver. I've heard North Carolina's got some interesting stuff. There was some high banking going on in some parts.
Now I'm hoping, Rock, that at that top of the hill we'll find some decent mineralization somewhere within reach, and then we can go deeper. We shall see what we shall see.
Oh, y'all should get out to Montana. We got tons of gold around here.